Welcome to another edition, another episode, another happening, the DNA Show. I'm your host, Anthony Wood, my main man, Donnie, and we are the DNA Show. Man, here we go. Let's talk about this past Sunday's game. Detroit Lions. We took them on at Bank of America at the Vault. We had to protect it, and that we did. The Detroit Lions are on, the best team in the NFL, but they're playing hard. They're a team to be reckoned with. So are the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers are able to pull it off, man. And yours truly, Mr. DBJ, one half of the DNA show, he was there in person, went by himself. Man, I tell you, what a true fan to go out there and embrace that cold, cold, cold weather. And he saw the Detroit Lions at the Carolina Panthers take them on and saw them walk away with a win. Now, so Donnie, you were there in person, so it's a little different. It's always a little different when you're there in person and you get to see the little things that TV doesn't always show you. What in person? What did you see that was different? Was there a big? Because there's a lot of blue because both teams are blue, so you really can't differentiate too much. But was there a lot of Panther fans out there this time? Was there electricity flowing, or did it just what was it like being there this past Sunday?
Yeah, man. There was quite a bit of Detroit Lions fans, but I did anticipate that, knowing that we don't play them as much. And
Mm.
you're always going to have quite a bit of fans, like the Detroit Lions fans, the 49ers, Steelers fans, kind of roam around. Just since they've been such a franchise has been has existed for so long. So but I will say, man, the electricity was there. Just watching the game unfold before your eyes is one of the most wonderful things, man. You get to see everything happen, whether it's the pass rushes, whether it's watching the play progress, the offensive side of the ball, man. I loved it, man. And I met a few people there, and I will say that talked to some season ticket holders. Made a shout out to Chris Woodard, one of my coworkers, for granting me that ticket, man. I appreciate you, bro. I had an amazing fellow Panther fan, great guy. Shout out to Chris Woodard. Had a great time, had great seats. Was the closest probably I've ever been. You and I typically get really close. This year was the closest I've ever been. I was close with my mom back in the 2015 season when we beat the Falcons 38-0. We were pretty close. We're on the 50-yard line. Me and you usually sit behind the field goal uprights. Man, this one right here, I was probably like 8 rows up from the tunnel. So,
wow.
But I mean, the players are huge, man. They're huge. Derek Brown's a big guy. Ickey's a big guy. Like seeing him even closer. But I don't know. There's something about just seeing it live and feeling electricity. Especially when you score. When Chuba Hubbard or Chuba Hoover broke off that big run, the very first play of the game, man. Stadium was rumbling, man. We were all hyped and we were yelling. It's like, I'm telling you, man, when you are winning and you are successful as an organization, man, I'm really big on the home team's crowd being the spark of electricity. Like, it was like a reaction, just that happens and then that happens, we end up scoring. It was beautiful, man. I had a great time. It's a blessing. It's always a blessing to be out there in Charlotte. Love it. Love the city. Love my team. It's a blessing.
Yeah. This fan base is ready to see them win. It's just they got to win. So, what were some good things you saw on the actual gridiron? Was there something that was like, oh, they did this really well? I could tell in person, or what was your thoughts?
Right. Man, obviously, I think that's the best complete game of football we played thus far. Our offense looked very potent this past Saturday. I was going to say Sunday, but it was a Saturday game.
Oh, that's right, Saturday. Yes, yeah.
Saturday game, and I will say, man, our front looked amazing. Our offensive lines looked good all year, but man, how we were able to run the ball at any given time.
Yeah.
Just seeing how Deontay Foreman was able to cut back. He had a rough week against the Steelers. They put together a good game plan to kind of stop him. His ability to kind of bounce back from a rough week and was able to cut back. And I was happy to see Chuba finally get involved. definitely happy to see DJ and Sam Darnold. Let me be honest with you, man. That was the craziest thing to see. Sam Darnold looked damn good on Saturday.
Right.
He has really come together. Now I'm not gonna jump back to the same kind of hills I was trying to jump through, last year, when he put together some good games. But I will say he looks a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
He has a run game now that could really threaten a defense. And I think it takes a lot of stress off of him too. And on top of that, offensive line is good. So our receiving core looked great. Our defense looked really good, man. Brian Burns had a hell of a game. So watching Brian Burns is always a pleasure up front. He is the greatest combination of a speed and power rush. He's able to put 2 and 1 during one pass rush. That was cool to watch. Shout out Trey Boston. Trey Boston was at the game, and he always provides some electricity and some enthusiasm animation. So, man, it was great, man. But as far as the gridiron, man, we look like a very old smash mouth, physical Carolina football team that we've always known to be. Running back by committee, able to convert on third down. We converted on third down a few times. Yeah. Defense was smacking. So, and we threw a lot more. And I hate to keep going on tangents. I just get excited thinking about it. But we actually threw the ball a lot more than I anticipated. I was talking to some fans outside. I was like, man, I highly doubt we threw the ball more than 15 times. But we threw the ball a lot. And Sam made some really good throws. So TMJ's coming along. DJ's always going to be DJ. I think Scheiben caught a pass. All of it's been a blur, man. It was, I was ridiculed by some for going out there in that cold weather, but I do it, 10 times over and over.
Yeah. So you mentioned Trey Boston. He's part of that 2015 team. Was he on the 2015 team?
Yeah, sure. He's one of the founders of Thieves Avenue.
That's right. Yeah, yes, sir. So, and we just signed back Josh Norman. Unfortunately, the game he went to, J.C. Horn's hurt, broken wrist. He's out definitely for
the game too.
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah. So he's out. But I saw on Twitter, Trey Boston's been saying, "Hey man, if they bring back Norman, what do you think?" And then he tagged Steve Smith, and Steve Smith says he's with it. And so on Twitter's been going crazy, and they say, "Hey, while we're at it, let's get this man back." And it's a picture of Luke Kuechly. So. So, hey, let's get them all back, man. Cam, too. Give Cam a call. So, but we'll see what Josh Norman was able to do. And he took over that number 6 jersey after Baker left. 2 + 4 = 6 is what he says. So, he'll be wearing number 6 when he gets out there Sunday against Tampa Bay. Big game next week for us. But while you were there also, Donna, you got to see a couple records. Got to feel a couple records. One of the records being most rushing yards in franchise history in a game, in the first half and in a game. We'll get into that more later. And also the coldest game ever at Bank of America Stadium. So you were there to brace that cold. And while you were waiting outside, embracing the cold to get into the stadium, some guys rolled up on you. So tell us that story. What happened there?
Yeah, I was outside of the stadium, just kind of taking it all in. I typically take a video of the stadium, and there's typically a line to get in at 11 o'clock, and it was me and a handful of other people waiting in line, and I saw these group of guys wearing Lions jerseys, right? And, they were all excited and hyped and stuff, but they also had a video recorder on, and I was, me, man, I'm a simple guy, and I stay to myself. I wasn't talking no smack, and I'm sitting in line here, and I was wearing DJ Moore jersey again. Shout out to my brother, my best friend, brother in Christ, for giving me the DJ Moore jersey. DJ Moore jersey is that thing goes dummy. I love it. So I had that on.
It's damn good on you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I was sitting there and I heard, "Hey, DJ Moore," and at first I was like, "DJ Moore, where the fuck? Like, let me get his autograph."
Right.
And I was like, "Should be out there warming up," but and then I heard, "Hey, guy, wear the DJ Moore jersey." And I looked in front of me. I was like, I don't see any other DJ Moore jerseys. So I looked like behind me, and they all like started like jogging, and I was like, "Oh shit, here we go, minding my business in the coldest game of in Carolina Panthers history, about to get bamboozled by Lions fans." But now they being some of the coolest people. He just came up to me and was like, "Hey man, we're just shooting a video on some Panthers trivia. Are you interested in winning $10 about specifically and solely Panthers trivia?" I said, "Yeah, man, that's cool." He started asking me how long have I been a fan. I said, "Well, I've been a lifelong fan, but I didn't really start understanding football until probably about 14. They really started getting the game of football down. He was like,
Yeah.
"So when your history of knowing the team would be?" I said, "Well, I know my history really well, but typically, um, I started really getting into football when I was in elementary school. So I'd say '08 to current." And he just asked me a few questions, and yeah, I think if I recall correctly, I think the first question was
Well,
how
we'll
many
get
times
into
we.
that. Before you do that, we have the video. Let's show the video,
Oh,
sir.
okay,
I have it right
okay.
here. So, shout out to
Oh,
Lifting Love Reacts is the name of the YouTube channel, and I cut that part. Just your part. We're going to show your part. Donnie Bryant showing why he is one of the biggest Panther fans, one of the smartest Panther fans, and he's right here, part of the DNA show. Here we go.
Lifting Love here with
Donnie Bryant.
All right, man. Listen, I see you rocking the Moore jersey, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So we got 3 questions. Win $10. You ready to go?
Right, let's get it.
All right. First question: how many times have the Panthers been to the Super Bowl?
Twice.
Can you name the years?
2003 and 2015.
Boom! Just like that. All right. Second question: in 28 years, the Carolina Panthers have only drafted first once. What year did they draft, and who was it that they picked?
Draft first once. Cameron Terrell, 2011.
Boom! Just like that! It's easy money. It's easy money. Know your teams and you can win money too. On their path to the Super Bowl in 2015, name the 3 teams that they faced that year in the playoffs.
The Seattle Seahawks.
That's 1.
The Arizona Cardinals.
That's 2.
And the Denver Broncos.
Boom! He got it.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man.
And there you go, man. Automatic with the answers, man. I tell you, I if I was there and someone rolled up on you and they're like Panther trivia, Donnie Bryant, he's got it. So, and you're made you $10 richer. So that's good, man. Um, I knew all the. I'm trying to put myself over here. I knew all the questions too, except the year that Cam was. I'm not good with years, so that's pretty good that you knew the year Cam was drafted to, 2011. So, but
and yeah,
so
I stated his middle name. I was like
oh
Cameron
yeah,
Terrell
he did
Newton.
say Cameron Terrell Newton. They should have
They,
given you
they,
another
they
dollar
laughed
for
at
that.
that. They're like you must be a big Cam guy. I was, oh man, I love Cam, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right
But
here on
they
DNA show.
they were uh they were some of the nicest people though, man. And he just the guy that was recording was a Falcons fan, but we were really cordial about it. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
man, shout out to those guys. They were really nice, and I think they're doing some very nice things around the community. Looks like they're all
Yeah.
positivity. I think it's called lifting up love, or
Lifting Love Reacts is the name of their
yeah,
YouTube channel.
yeah.
So
I didn't get the guy's name, but man, I really appreciate that opportunity. You know, it's and I tell you what, man, when it's cold like that, let me tell you, man, it feels like everything in your brain is slow motion. When you're having to think, body's having at least I feel like my body was in a combination trying to keep me warm while trying to keep my
yeah.
brain active. I was like, shit, I bet these damn things as much as I love this team. Shout out to those guys, man. I bought some hot chocolate with that damn money.
Right.
Bought 2
So
things hot chocolate. That shit, it was hot, man. It was cold.
that's cool, man. So yeah, shout out to those guys. Lifting Love Reacts. So go to YouTube, subscribe to that. They got some good
Subscribe.
stuff out there. Yeah, shout out to those guys. So now the gridiron itself, the actual game between Detroit and Carolina. We're gonna take a look at the stats for that day. All right, so on offense, total yards on offense, 570 yards total. Third down efficiency, we're 3 for 9. So only 9. It could be a little better, but pretty good. So only 9 times did it come to third down. So that's pretty good. That means they were going, going, and going, and going. A total of 250 passing yards, 320, a franchise record, 320 rushing yards, and they were 4 for 6 in the red zone. 4 for 6. I have to say that is a pretty damn good day for Carolina. Offensive stars, a couple people. There's a mishap there. So let's go to the next one here. Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, both of them. 21 carries for Dante, 12 carries for Chuba, 165 and 125 for both of them, which they combined for that franchise record. They had a 7.9 average for Dante, 10.4 average for Chuba. When they were running the ball, they were running the ball. I mean, every time they touched it, pretty much was a first down on average. That is crazy. So, and Dante got a touchdown out of it. And even though Chuba never found the end zone, at the end of the day, man, 10.4 average, 125 yards on 12 carries. Can't argue with that. His longest run of the day, 35 yards long. So, man, pretty freaking good. Pretty good there. Um, there was a mishap on Sam Darnold's stats there, but we'll go into it here. Well, I'll pull him up here in just a second. Um, but yeah, man, seeing the franchise record in person, man, would you who would you give kudos to with that? Mostly, being there in person, would you give it mostly to that offensive line or those two running backs, man?
So let me tell you, man. If you want to be completely honest with you, I'm giving it to two people, and it's not taking any. I'm not trying to discredit the running backs because they're really good running backs, especially Deontay. Number one, it goes to Steve Wilkes for instilling that run culture, getting that run, getting the run game in it, knowing that we have the personnel to do as such, to run the ball as well as we do, and to just force it in there. Um, Shout out to Steve Wilkes, but also shout out to our offensive line. Our offensive line, man, all of them deserve offensive performance. All of them.
Yeah.
From Corbett from the guards, from Corbett, Christensen, center. Of course, when I was Bradley Bozeman was going crazy. He was getting to the second level. Shout out to, of course, Icky and Taylor Moton. All those guys, man, they did a hell of a job getting that good push for our running backs to get to the second level and just to do the rest. So, and of course, like I said, a lot of it goes to Steve Wilkes, though, man, because our running game didn't even look as good as it does now until Steve Wilkes took over, man. He's definitely instilled Smash Mouth football, and that's what we've wanted, man. Not even, of course, we want offensive success, but we want an identity on offense.
Right.
We want to be like, the Panthers are going to offer us. Well, they're going to run the shit out of the ball until we can officially stop them. And if we stop the run, now they have the capability of beating us, with their receivers. So now we have an identity with Coach Wilkes, and that's why I think he's such a great candidate to be rehired. And I love for him to be rehired, man. But a lot of credit goes to Steve Wilkes and offensive line, man. You could have a backfield of Marshall Faulk, Christian McCaffrey, LaDainian Tomlinson. Even have Mike Allstott at fullback, Lorenzo Neal fullback, and you won't even get the same kind of production because it all starts up front at the line of scrimmage. So I think anybody else, hopefully a lot of other people would agree with me. I just think now the running backs do get credit because at the end of the day, you have to accelerate. You have to read those blocks. But in order for you to even get there, you need a good push. So O-line, shout out to Coach Steve Wilkes and shout out to the running backs, man. So we have a very talented football team.
Team effort for sure. Yeah. The running the ball is something that when Carolina can do it, that is a recipe for success with them for sure. Sam, I want to mention Sam Darnold. The graphic was a mess up, so I just want to read you here. Sam Darnold, 15 to 22, 250 yards, 11.4 average every time he completed a pass on average, first down, and threw one touchdown. And they gave him a rating of 121.4. So very good day for Sam Darnold. Oh, yeah, and he ran for him. Yeah, that's right. So
stud.
Stud McMuffin he is. And on the other side of the ball, defense. They ended up giving up 381 yards total. Not too bad passing league. 336 yards passing. But only 45 yards rushing. So anytime they're able to slow the run down like that, they've been able to win a game. In red zone, the lines were 3 for 6. We had one turnover, or we caused one turnover and 2 sacks there. So very good game for the Carolina Panthers at the bank. So back to us here, and man, so this coming Sunday, division rivalry. We have to win out. We have to win the next 2 games in order to win the NFC South. We beat Tampa earlier in the year. Pretty good, too. Pretty decidedly.
And we beat the
Saints, which another game that you and I were at. With Winston at quarterback for that one. What's your thoughts, man? I know this is about the Lions, but we've kind of covered the Lions. Now, this Sunday, what are you thinking? What what is the recipe for success? Because Tampa is not the same Tampa as earlier in this year. Yeah, they're not the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Bucks, but still Tampa. Never count out old Mr. Brady Tom. So what's the and with JC out, that's a big thing. And real quick, I hope this isn't the case, but when I got a lot of people, especially at my job, they say, "Well, was JC Horn really worth it? We should have got a quarterback instead of a corner." I hope and pray to God this isn't the case, but you might see Sunday. You might see against Tampa why he is very, very important. I hope it ain't the case. I hope we're able to slow him down. But so far this year, man, I tell you what, one thing, he was snubbed from the Pro Bowl.
Oh man, like a
So
somebody.
yeah,
So bad.
um, so which whatever. That's a popularity contest at this point. But man, in a passing league, to come across an elite corner like that, like he is, you cannot pass that up. I don't even care if you have three. Let's say you come across a stud, anything in any position, and let's say you already got two on the team. Sometimes you just can't pass it up. Can't pass up in another elite position like that. So especially a corner. And I mean, you saw against was JC? Did he play against the Steelers? I think he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, he played against Steelers. But you see, we're already down Dante. You see when they weren't targeting JC, when they targeted the other guy, there's Mr. O'Keefe. You saw how bad that was. So, so
I was rough.
hopefully we're able to get over it. But having JC, it hurts, and he deserves to be on this team, and I'm glad he is. So, but what would you think is the recipe for success, man, to win this NFC South?
Yeah. I mean, you can't go away from what's got you to the dance. I mean, we got to run the ball.
Right.
And it comes to them shutting down our run. We need to use Sam Darnold's ability. I mean, it looks like he's been able to put it together here as of recent. I mean, he helped knock off the Seahawks. He looked good against the Lions. I think we got the receivers, man. If they're able to stop our run, then let's dare them to stop our receivers. I think our receivers are so talented,
Right.
and they're one underrated receiving core and one of the most underrated receiving cores in the league. Still got Laviska Shenault. You still got DJ Moore. Still got Shi Smith. Still got TMJ. I mean, make those motherfuckers. Excuse my French. Make those motherfuckers stop us. Like
Right.
we have a lot of weapons, and again, for anyone who doesn't think God forbid Steve Wilkes doesn't get this job. For anyone who doesn't think this job isn't appealing, yeah, you're freaking crazy.
Yeah.
But just again, what got us to the dance? We need to stop the run, most importantly. But against Tom Brady and against a beat up secondary, we're going to need a big game from Jeremy Chin, man. I need Jeremy Chin. I'll probably be at the line of scrimmage a little bit more. He's probably going to be asked to cover maybe a Mike Evans at times, maybe a Chris Godwin at times. And we're going to need him to do that. And he, since he's been back, it's been up and down. I know he's probably still trying to get over the hamstring injury. I'm not sure if he's 100%, but Jeremy Chin's a great ball player, and he's got a lot of versatility in his game. So I want Jeremy Chin to be the impact player of this game. Secondary. We're going to need Brian Burns. It's going to start front for us. So, me personally, man, I think in order for us to win this game, just stick with the run, okay? And then if we need to use Sam Brown with this, let's do that. He can do that. Now he's not going to sit there and throw for 400 plus yards but let's do it. And defensively, we got to get after Tom. He gets the ball out quick, and I don't know how much man we'll be playing since JC's gone. And we our secondary's kind of beat. We're missing Dante. We're missing JC. So I'm still kind of nervous about Keith Taylor. We probably won't see much of Josh Norman this week. Since he was signed.
No more than I think Steve said no more than 25 snaps he's going to see.
Probably won't even be 30 snaps. So, and Josh has always done well with the scheme that we run, man. Josh has been a really good zone corner. So I think if we can kind of in those plays that he's in, he's very linked and he's long. And he's still very athletic. Right as of recently, he's been a meme because he's been thrown by Derrick Henry and
Right.
things like. People forget he's a solid zone corner. He's 35, but but that's just that. Again, I know it was a simple answer, but just stick with the run. Hey, if we need to use our receivers, let's do it. But let's most importantly win up front. I don't think ours. I'm sorry, our front's really good. And hopefully they don't prove me wrong. I don't see our front having much problems with a lot of these teams in the league. So, and just to have some of our young, impactful players show out. Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, and Frankie Louvu. I want a big game for Frankie Louvu.
Yes.
One little quick sidebar. I think he was a Pro Bowl snub.
Yes, yeah.
Bro, when I went to the game last week, I looked at a stat line while I was getting my hot chocolate. Ironically, I think at that point he had 98 tackles and 6 sacks. So, and that's in a 4-3 scheme. I think and I think he has a pick or two. So,
wow,
that's pretty damn impressive. Frankie Louvu is growing. And also, one last thing, Shaq Thompson needs to show up. He's been playing good. Shaq Thompson's been playing solid, but I just don't understand why Shaq cannot put the ball in his hands and run the other way with the ball, meaning pick off. He is always there, but we never really get the full pick that a Luke or a Thomas Davis would give us. Shaq, if you're listening to this, slim chance you do. I've been one of your biggest critics, but it's all out of love because you're wearing the black and blue, and I need you to take over.
Yes,
Mike Tomlin gave praise. He said you were raised by Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis. Well, let's see. This is the game to show your ass. For your asses. So just a simple answer, Anthony. I know I'm on a tangent, but that's just kind of what I need to see. Don't switch up. Don't switch up anything that's got you to the dance.
Right.
Keep what's going. Keep what's working.
Yeah. No, don't panic. So, but yeah, I agree. Went up front on both sides of the ball. When you went up front on the offensive side of the ball, push some bodies around like we did against Detroit, and went up front on the defensive side of the ball, disrupt Brady. Getting to Brady's hard, so it's gonna be tough. But no matter what team he's on or who's the offensive line, he gets the ball out really quick, but also, make him. This year's the year to make him throw interceptions because he's been doing it this year. He's been turning the ball over, unlike Tom, and let's make him do it. So big game from those backers, linebackers, and defensive backs. We need those guys to step up. Jeremy Chin, I agree. There'll be times where it's like, I have, excuse me, I have even more faith because I know where J.C. Horn is. He's already there. He's already proven himself, and so is Chin. But with Horn is Horn. We don't have to worry about him. Chin has such a high freaking ceiling with us, man. In my mind, he could be and will be the best safety in the game. He is his play is unbelievable. So, and he is athletic as hell.
He is.
If you ever see him in person, that's the body I want. If I was a woman, I'd be like, I want that dude right there to come
to are crazy.
My bedroom tonight and have his way with me. Well, shit, I don't even have to be a female. I'll take it right now as a male. But no, man, that's
Steve.
dude.
He's got. I mean, it's in him. It's in him to be a dog.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Steve Atwater. Yeah, okay, it makes a lot of sense. So the family blood runs through his veins. So, but yeah, let's win up front against Tampa, and we'll walk away. Well, it'll take more than just that. Then we have the Saints the following week. But this team, man, can walk away with the NFC South Championship. I didn't think I'd be able to say that in weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6. I thought it was kind of long season ahead, but man, when Steve Wilkes took over and he became this alpha male leader and the team bought in for real this time. I understand. I think a lot of people were just like, because Matt Rule was so nice and he was nice to the players. I'll tell you this. my father-in-law, I have sisters that were playing softball, twin sisters. They're playing softball, and my father-in-law is a college softball coach, and he came and visited, and he helped train with them and taught them things that they didn't really learn at their level, but they got some college knowledge. And we all always said one of the big things, and you know them, you know my sisters, as long as you know me,
Mm-hmm.
Donnie. So and you know them, they're not very, they don't have a mean streak in them. They're too nice, especially in sports. And in sports, you kind of be got to be a little mean. Got to have that on off switch when you get on the field. And he said to them, he said, you can be nice at school, you can be nice to your teachers, you can be nice to your mom, but when you get on that field, you walk onto that softball field, that is your high. That is your time to turn on the switch and be a different person. And that's what happened. That's what happened when Steve Wilkes took this team over. That switch turned in all the players, I think. And Matt Rule was all nice, and they felt bad for him, I think. And it's, oh, I don't want to see you go. You're too good of a guy. And he may be. But Steve Wilkes demanded a winning energy and demanded um, accountability in that locker room. And we got it. So if this season doesn't work out, definitely look forward to next season as well. And hopefully he has HC next to his name, aka head coach. So I'm an advocate for it. So final thoughts, sir, on this is about the Detroit Lions. Kind of jumping ahead of ourselves. We'll save that for next week for the Tampa Bay Bucks and on. But your final thoughts on this Detroit Lions game? You were there in person. You got to see it with your own eyes, sir. Your thoughts on this team that showed up against those Lions from Detroit?
Well, listen, man. Again, we're not that far off, and I think, like I said, this year was the first time I doubted our team and our capability to get up a notch, and I might be eating crow, and I hope I do, because man, things were looking pretty low.
Yeah.
Things have been up and down this season, but now it seems like we're trending upward, and it's going rapidly. Like, we literally have a chance to win the NFC South, and it's been 5 long years since I've been able to enjoy a meaningful game that we play. And uh, listen, I'm emotionally invested in this. I'm passionate about it. I'm always going to be passionate about it. I'm always going to be emotionally invested. This team makes up a huge chunk of my heart and who I am as a person. I carry it with me. My car has a Panthers emblem on it. I mean, my room has Panthers memorabilia. I mean, I'm wearing Panther shit. That's a snap. And if I and so happen if I just so happen if I have to step outside, I have it on my phone. I have my AirPods in. This shit means so much to me. It's in my
Yes,
it's in my blood. I mean,
Same.
my mom. I mean, it's my mom's side of it. There you go. It's a damn screensaver. Look at that.
No, you saw it. You saw it for a second. Keep pounding. But yeah.
Yes. So it's in my blood. My grandma was a diehard Panthers fan. God rest her soul. It's been a year since she's been gone, so hopefully we get this for you, Grandma. But it's just in my blood, man. It's everything. So I say all that to say what an impressive win we had, man. It was an honor, and it's always a pleasure to go to Bank of America. But to be a part of a historic day of football, Carolina Panther specifically, man, it was an honor and it's a blessing. And I hope we can get it done, man. I hope we can get it done, and I hope I was wrong, because, I mean, the future is so bright, and this team does. I don't even think this team truly knows how special they are.
Yeah.
But I think they're so mature, and to be able to endure what they've endured this season, and to be able to play in a meaningful, be able to be playing meaningful games these next 2 weeks says a lot about this, and a lot about Steve Wilkes. So, great win. That win, it was indicative and just a true resemblance of what Panthers football and what a history of our team has been built off of. Smash mouth football. We're going to win at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and we're going to beat you. And we're going to beat you, up front, and we're going to win in a fight. So Yeah, that's really all for me, man. Keep pounding. I'm excited, man.
Yeah. A fight it will be because the next 2 weeks after this Detroit Lions game, division opponents, Tampa Bay Bucks, New Orleans Saints, got to win out to win the NFC South. They can do it. They can do it. I believe in them. We believe in them. They can do it. All they got to do is
Keep pounding, man.
that's all they got to do, baby. I knew you knew the answer, just like you knew all those answers when those guys rolled up on you from Detroit. They came all the way from Detroit. They found the one Carolina Panther fan that could name every single number of every jersey of every person that's ever walked through that stadium, wore a jersey, and even been drafted by every college team. You know it. Biggest fans right here. DNA Show. Donnie, Anthony. That's it for us. We saw him beat Detroit. Let's get Tampa. Let's get New Orleans. We'll talk about it in the future right here on the DNA Show. So, as always, baby, keep pounding, my friend. We'll see you next week. DNA Show. Tampa Bay. Let's go get that title. The NFC South champs.